Have you ever experienced an artwork so alive as if it's going to leap out of the canvas and engage with you? Colors and strokes so full of energy that they do not permit your eyes to wander anywhere else. I hadn't experienced this kind of artwork until this one day. Back when I was doing a design degree, perfection was the game. Sharp typography, flawless gradients, neat boxed compositions. I was used to making art with 0 and even 000 number brushes on 6 by 14 inches of paper. Until that day when I crossed this classroom in painting department. What I saw was bold strokes, fierce colors, no outlines, no permission seeking. There was this energy, and my frame of 6 by 14 shook that day. I felt like a tidy little puppy who stumbled in the den of roaring lions. Instead of shrinking, I dared to step closer with honest curiosity. After all, I wanted that very energy in my art. That is when I realized cerebral art is like reciting a recipe, whereas embodied art is like cooking with fire. Today we are diving into that huge missing link in how so many art teaching styles train us. They teach us technique, but they completely miss the source. If your art feels as if something is missing despite doing everything right, please know nothing is wrong with you. You need a training that will awaken your inner artist. So stay with me and let us flip that switch right away. Hi, I am Parul, founder of Restart Art. After doing Masters in Fine Art from Chelsea College of Art, London, and some 10 years in art industry experience, I am here to help you step into the artist you know you are. Well, here's the thing. You don't get to step into that artist just by copying pretty stuff. You get to step into that artist by rebuilding your inner creative muscles from inside out. And the body is where it all begins. Before we go any further, let me give you an overview of this video. First, we look at the problem with most of the art teaching style today. Second, we look into what great artists of the past knew and what modern tutorials are missing. Third, we look into how your art is affected when there is no embodiment. And finally, I'll give you 3 practical ways of how you can bring that aliveness into your art. So without wasting time, let's dive in. Let's first dive into why so many art trainings don't make you an artist and just about manage to make you a good draftsman. Let us zoom out for a bit. We went from cave wall art to classical atelier, to gesture drawing in Bauhaus, to now safe compositions, floating objects, lighting effects copied from internet, hyper-real graphite portraits that copy pixel by pixel by pixel. Art has become an act of imitation, not expression. Somewhere along the way, we forgot that art is not made with just these 2 hands. It is made with your emotional and mental state, your stance. It is rather an act of embodiment. Your posture affects your strokes. The way you breathe affects the rhythm of those strokes, and your energy directly flows in that canvas. In the modern teaching styles of art, there is a lot of emphasis on cerebral visual, and the visceral visual is completely missed. Let's pause for a second and tell me, do you use your body as an instrument in your art? Let me explain. Think of making a very fine stroke on a piece of paper with a super fine brush. Envision that. Would you be breathing crazily when you're making that fine stroke, or would you hold your breath to ensure that line is perfect? Now let's flip that situation to, let's say you have a big canvas in front of you and you have to make really big stroke across the canvas. How will your breathing be like now? Would you be taking big inhales and big exhales to ensure that that full body power gets translated into that stroke? In the same way, I want you to observe how you feel when you create art. What is your stance like? What are your body habits like? Tell me in the comments. I want to know, what is your journey? What is your relationship with your art like? Now let's move to the second segment. What great art is new and what modern tutorials are forgetting. Kandinsky called it inner necessity. He believed colors and forms don't just look good, they resonate. They vibrate with viewers' soul. His work was not about decoration, it was about evocation. Leonardo, on the other hand, didn't just draw anatomy, he embodied it. He studied cadavers, not just to learn muscles, but to understand how breath flowed through the body, how movement curved with emotion. That is why his work feels alive. Like Michelangelo's David, it almost looks like it will step forward and speak. As Michelangelo once said, I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. It is not about which school of art you go to. It's more about whether your training allows your body, your being, to be part of the process, or just it treats your body like a machine holding the pencil or the brush in the right angle. Think about it. Are you working and creating art like a draftsman or like an artist? And if you're resonating with this, please don't forget to hit that like, share and subscribe button. I am on a mission to awaken that innate confidence of all those artists who have once been silenced by life but are now yearning to rekindle that creativity. With your support, I can definitely reach them. Thank you. Now let's move to segment 3, the problem with mind-heavy art. When we make mind-heavy art, our art starts to look like everyone else's. It is tight, it is safe, it is predictable. And in the pursuit to make it perfect, picture perfect, flawless, that pursuit for perfectionism, in that pursuit we forget that perfectionism is not confidence. It is actually fear in disguise. Perfectionism does not have strength to hold spontaneity, does not have the capacity to give the platform for the forward unfolding of creativity. That is the very reason why strong artists, real artists, do not try to control everything. Think of a relationship. In a relationship, when two people are playing it too safe and rehearsed, the relationship is bound to become boring and stagnated, to say the least. But if these two people choose to stretch, to discover, to stay honest, to stay curious, there is bound to be a lot of growth. There is bound to be a lot of fire. Art works in the same way. True artists surrender to the intelligence of their inner being, and that inner being always guides them to the newer and authentic art pieces. By the way, if this kind of art thinking is resonating with you, I have good news for you. I send out weekly newsletters that are full of inspiration and practical insights on how you can rekindle that inner creativity and awaken your inner artist. If this interests you, you can find the sign up link in the description box below. Now let's move to segment 4, 3 practical ways you can use to bring more aliveness to your art with absolutely no fancy tools. Let's get practical. The first one is about gesture drawings. It is very simple to do, takes very less time, but are damn effective to bring aliveness in your art. Let me explain through this very simple example. There was this day where I was walking near a construction site. People were working on a building and it was full of action. I was looking, where I was standing, I was looking above, and how these men were really carrying heavy weights and, doing the constructive work. Now, in that kind of action-packed scene, I did not have much, leisurely time to sit and observe for hours and hours and make, detailed pieces. But I wanted to capture what, hooked my attention there. So, in order to capture that essence, what I did was, in those quick sketches, I was trying to capture the overall scene in a very quick fashion. The idea was to capture the movement, find those basic principal lines which will convey the movement, the angles, the perspective, the sharp edges, the contrast of human body versus whatever was around, the building materials and so on. This way, it did not take a lot of time, but it definitely gave the overall picture of what I was trying to capture there. In the same way, try to look around what is capturing your attention and try to get the essence in very, very few lines. The next step is around stance, your position, your body language. The point is, when you're creating art, your body is an instrument which is enabling you to create that. Now, whether you keep that instrument tight and reserved or let it be free and open is up to you. But the way you treat it affects your strokes, the way you express art, everything. There is a reason why in traditional art training in colleges and universities, the entire setup of an artist is so that they can, almost stay straight, like stand in a standing position almost all the time. Of course, they can sit, but they have like proper standing. The easels are in that direction, in that angle, so that they can stand. The idea is you can have, open shoulders, your legs can be, open, and you can feel confident. You can move freely and easily, and that really translates into your artwork. Now, if you compare that situation to a scenario where it's a conventional sitting desktop kind of setup, and then you are trying to make art, the entire instrument is then caged and locked in, and then if you're trying to make something, the movement gets restricted. That is why you will see that in many artists, you will see the strokes are really teeny tiny and they are not free. Their positioning, how they are treating their body, reflects in their strokes as well. That's why the stance is not just about how your body is, it is also reflected in what kind of movement you are doing with your hand. For example, if you hold your pencil like this and just use your fingers to move, your circles or any stroke will be limited in this fashion. Now you use your wrist. This movement becomes slightly bigger. Now you use your elbow and the movement becomes even bigger. Now you use your shoulder and the movement becomes even bigger. And now imagine you use your body. Your stroke will become even bigger and bolder. So there is a reason and there is intelligence in using your entire being while creating. That boldness comes with free movement. So whenever you create your artwork, observe what is your stance? Where are you located? What angles are you located in? Are you feeling free or are you feeling, tensed and restricted? Try to make yourself relaxed, at ease, and see the magic translating into your art. The third point is even more subtle. It points at the relationship of your breathing with your art. Here are a few situations you can try. First, take a deep breath and then release it very slowly. During that release, try to make a stroke. Observe how it comes out. Now, in a second situation, take a deep breath, hold it there. And during that pause, you are making another stroke and see the quality of this one. In the third instance, try to breathe heavily and crazily and then try to make a stroke. See now the quality of the third stroke. You will see 3 different types of strokes coming out. And you can see how breathing is informing your strokes before it even, translates into fuller subject that you're trying to capture. Of course, based on different subjects, we breathe differently, but if you're aware of it, you can see that what energy needs to go in what type of art. This is an internal observation between you and your inner artist that you can use intelligently in your artworks. Here's a little recap for you. First, do gesture drawings daily to capture the essence of the subject you're trying to capture. Second, draw while being aware of your stance. And third, be aware of your breathing, how it is affecting your strokes in art. Most people think art improves by obsessing over results, but the pros obsess over the input, the body, the mind, the spirit. That is what we do inside Restart Art. We don't just copy pretty stuff. We tap into the live inner wire and awaken the inner artist. If this style of learning speaks to you, you would absolutely love my upcoming courses. I will leave the link in the description box below. Knowledge without action is useless. So go out there and practice what you learned today. And boldly step into the artist you know you are.